Hello guys, Kamikaze Kid here, and today we're playing some Techies. One of my first uploads for Dota other than Tug Life video. Yeah, interesting team lineup here. We got Techies, Anti-Mage, Witch Doctor, Shadow Shaman, and Pudge. So, my reason for picking Techies is to test them out and to give insight into the character, as well as see how he fares out against these hard carries you see here, such as Husker and Viper. Techies is an interesting character, really. He start the match here. Now, just to show you, I use this normal standard Techies lane guide, the most highest rated in the Dota suggestions. Techies likes to teleport, teleport to the start and get them mindset. The mines are really important. We got physical damage from these mines, so enemies with low armor are in for a hard time. It's also good to set them as soon as possible in areas you think that your opponent is going to be. Also, you see we have Acne Mine, or the Acne Sign. Just to toy with your opponent, you could set one of them maybe in a lane you're not even in, prevent the opponent from thinking they're not safe to farm there. And sometimes it's a hazard because we see Skyrat Mage interfering with us. We get very close here with First Blood, I think. As you notice, you see here, a lot of people go for that bottom rune and the top rune too. If you look at the X marks the spot top. I actually hit Husker here with a very good mine. If I had set 2 mines at the start of the match as priority, that would have been First Blood straight away. And that's probably what I should have done. You notice in this game especially, Techies, I use them for a lot of farming. Techies needs a lot of farming to get going, because you need to get them mines set to the max level. And with 4 levels, on top of that, every second level you need to up a different ability. You're looking at by level 6, 7 or 8 before Techies is snowballing. So I farm a lot on the bottom jungle here. You want to build Soul Ring. Priority is mana. As you see, I have the Clarity Potions and they do well early game, and I would also suggest if you're struggling, buy 2 more. It'll let you set the mines you need to get the gold for the farm. So for every Clarity Potion you set, that's 50 gold for buying it, and you're probably going to get like 4 mines set with it, just about, maybe 3 or 4 mines, and that's going to give you what you need to clear at least 2 farms, and that's enough gold to not only get another Clarity Potion, or enough gold to get even that Sage's Mask for mana regeneration. And you see I get First Blood here actually. You notice nobody bought the wards in this game. Techies is one of them. Oh no, actually we have a ward there. We have 2 wards. Techies is one of them heroes where he doesn't necessarily have a support role. He is the guy that's farming at the start of the game, and maybe that's a disadvantage to pick if you have too many people who are carries in your team. Not that Techies he's far from a carry. He's really an AoE damager, a nuker. Stationary, if you will, because his mines have to be set, so it's very hard to land his ulti with them. His ulti, he throws them and there's a delay with it, and that delay is hard in team fights to get kills with. All I'm doing here is just using his low auto attack base to get last hits on these neutral creeps in the camps, as well as setting mines to destroy them. I see I already have the Soul Ring, so this is a good suggestion with Techies with that farming. What I was going to actually do here, but early game I need farm, and these bounty runes are brilliant, especially when you're near a rune. I really do suggest taking them, and if anything else comes up, it's like an illusion or whatever, drop a few mines over it, and the opponent's going to go and think, oh, there's a rune, I'm going to get a rune, and maybe for his bottle or something. And he's just going to walk right into them mines, and he's going to blow. You see, Shadow Shaman bought the courier. I would suggest if you can, spare gold where possible if you're really snowballing with techies. Do buy wards for your team because, you know, I'd suggest anybody buy wards. I know he's not fully support hero, but he has support potential. And depending on who your lineup is, you might want to buy them. In this case, Shadow Shaman is brilliant. He's a hard support, an excellent guy to buy the wards, and an excellent pusher, which is excellent to have on a team with techies, you know. Techies is real defensive, you know. You can set the mines up in a lane, and the enemies are going to push toward your tower and just completely lose it because they're all going to die from the mines. You might even get a kill on a hero, an enemy hero with the mines that way. And then with the likes of Shadow Shaman, you can then counter push fully from that momentum up toward their tower, land your ulti, you know, the mass serpent wards, damage the towers. Techies red mines, they actually damage towers. Of all his mines he has, they're the only ones that damage towers. You see here, try to feint illusions toward them. Just, you know, if you do have these illusions, don't do stupid things like I did here. Now, in fairness, I was trying to get the courier, but originally that wasn't my plan. I was really just kind of seeing, being nosy. If you get the likes of them illusions and you have a bottle, do store them for late game or later game, or use them just to see if you can bring them into the enemy's not base, if you will, but just their area, and see if you can find a guy, you know, farming. Call your team, say, "Hi, we found I don't know, Juggernaut or Tusk farming," and set up a gank that way. You know, I mean, illusions are great for that.
Let's go.
Another thing illusions are great for is countering techies. Techies is one of them guys that just doesn't snowball well against certain heroes. High armor heroes, micromanagement heroes, and illusion heroes. Particularly the likes of heroes such as Broodmother, Meepo. As there's other examples. But look at them one by one. Micromanagement heroes are heroes that can kind of manage multi lanes, and Techies is one of them heroes that can actually land mines all around the map. So, say for example, Broodmother can send her spiders into the mines and cancel them out, and Meepo, because he has up to 5-6 clones or whatever, can take a heap of damage from them and, you know, just return to tower and heal, really clear it out. Lycan's wolves. You see the push here? This push potential is great with Shadow Shaman and Techies. It's a really good lane lineup for us against this. It's actually a hard enough lane. Husker and Skyra. You got the kill on them, you know. See Viper here trying to get a bit of damage to Techies. Now watch what this next thing to talk about Techies. Boom. Suicide Squad. Now I know I didn't get the kill here because there's only one skill in it, so it does really low damage, but I just denied myself in order to prevent Viper from getting gold. Viper didn't get gold from that kill because that kill didn't count for him. I suicided, injured him, prevented him the gold that he would have got, and my two teammates then finished off Viper in order to get gold for our team. So that's another thing Techies is good for. Suicide Squad, and I would really recommend to use this in any situation when you have time for it, because it has a long cooldown, but it's really, really useful, especially late game, because it can do up to 1000 plus damage. It's a great ability. What I would suggest is trying to combo it with the likes of Tiny. Tiny's great, throws you into the air, does area damage effect, and then Suicide Squad. See, I have like a 100-second cooldown on this thing. But what's also cool about Suicide Squad is if you're farming and it's free, you know, there's no harm in Techies dying, because if the enemy team isn't getting gold for it, what's the harm? Techies isn't going to snowball with like 10, 11 kills. Unless that's what you're trying to do with Techies. You know, well done. But the likelihood is that's not going to happen. Techies is situational kills and could be anywhere from 0 to 8 in a game, you know. But the Suicide Squad's great. You could be low health from just farming, and you want to go back to your tower and have a low cooldown on return. You know, Suicide Squad and TP back and rinse and repeat. Same effect, you know. Game Red Mines, I didn't really set them in numerous locations other than because of the early game farm. And I have 13 more seconds on this. Oh no. This looks like it's the end for me. Or it's not. As you see, Mirana on our team, one of her abilities is to allow her entire team to go invisible. It increases their movement speed and it makes them invisible for a short period of time. This is great for escapes, just like there. If it wasn't for Mirana, and this is probably thanks to Mirana looking on my side of the lane. If Mirana didn't look on my side of the lane, I probably would have died there. So I got lucky, if anything. But it's a brilliant escape mechanism, and this is actually a 3-part hero lineup we have here. Techies, Mirana, and Shadow Shaman are brilliant in combination, I think. The team will push to your tower, and Techies can destroy everything around them with mines. That counter push then comes from Shadow Shaman and his Mass Serpent wards. You push up, destroy towers, and when the enemy hero are after you and you have low mana from all that, Mirana just makes you all disappear and just push back. Pray your enemies don't have dust or sentries for that though. Which is why it's important, like I said, to, if you can, buy wards, and particularly sentry wards, because Techies mines, the red mines, actually act as tiny observer wards. They provide a small bit of vision for the map. So, you know, clustering them together can create enough space to see a certain area. And when you have your ulti bomb, the green bomb, the remote mines, if you will, they provide great vision, large area vision, and can explode whenever you want. So that's also good. I think well, my plan was here is just mana management and farm with max mana. So obviously I'm building the mana boots next. An alternative, if you're not getting a good snowball's chance and you're probably dying a lot, is to buy HP boots. HP boots allow you to regain your health after 13 seconds of not being attacked. Oh, I came close to it. But it does. It allows you to restore your health. Good for farming. Late game, you'd be seeing Techies wearing the likes of TP boots. If you have enough mana, that's exactly what you want with Techies. You can push and then return to base, defend. Them Mass Serpent wards are doing some serious damage early game. Shadow Shaman's really good hero. One of my favourites. Really good support hero. His heart support's great. The magical damage coming from them Serpent wards is phenomenal. Or is it attack damage? I'm not sure. Whatever damage they're doing, it's doing amazing. And they damage towers, so I'm going to assume it's attack damage. So again, watch out for heroes with high armor. It's always crappy playing at nighttime. The vision is reduced for most teammates, unless you're playing with the likes of Night. Was it Nightcrawler? Night Stalker. He's great at night. And I see I found a regen rune here, great for restoring my mana. Yes! I really needed it there. Health wasn't really an issue because I'm not fighting anybody at the moment. Even if it was low, it wouldn't be an issue. Just need to land more mines. I really should have by now got my mana boots. I'm ashamed of myself. But I've only played like 3 or 4 games with Techies. Your teammates will always tell you what to do. Do listen to them if you're playing new heroes, especially. Some guys know more than you. Just listen to some people's advice sometimes, if they're not cursing at you.
Science.
Another important thing to note with Techies is you can only set 20 mines max on the map. So no 21 mines, 20 mines. A combination of any 20 mines. Some mines have if you will, a death time, or a better word for that would be, I don't know the better word for it. Basically, they disappear after a while. See the little clock on the green mines? When that is reduced to 0, the mines will disappear. But red mines stay all the time, and which is why it's a priority to get them first. Remote mines would be the second option with Techies. And one thing you see I'm not actually leveling up at all is the stun mines. Stun mines, while they have the largest level of stun in the game, disable for I think it's like 5 seconds max. They don't do the job they need all the time. You're gonna need like a Yule Scepter to land on somebody and then plant the mine, and that'll give your team enough time to get them dead. So it really requires Techies to have 2 stuns. I'm trying to last it with Techies. That's really hard actually. Low speed and low attack power. Sometimes it's good to have them stun mines. Stun mines can sometimes be useful, particularly if you plant one and have a load of grain mines around. That gives you the initiation that your enemy has been found by the stun mine, and enough time to click the button on all the mines. I sometimes like planting stun mines in an area where there's a good few green mines. Often it's at Roshan's pit or Dire, or Roshan's pit or the ruins. You see here, I'm actually planning on building a Yule Scepter next. And Yule Scepter, another great item if you want to win. No, another great item for the disable I need in case I have to deal with anybody. But on top of which, mana regen, speed, slight speed boost, I think above mana boots, or is it less? I think it's less actually, so it doesn't count. Just a big mana increase, and the 10 intelligence. I actually like playing on the bottom of the map. It's always a more fun game when you play bottom, especially on the Radiant side. On the Radiant side you got this big area to farm, and it's easy to return back to base, you know. Dire's always a harder thing to play with because a lot of people tend to go to this area to farm. But Husker proves me wrong by running around up here. He well is stacking ancients. I doubt Husker's smart enough, otherwise their team would be quite ahead if that was the case, and Husker had better items. You don't think that guy's saying you need wards, and he got 2 wards down. Or sometimes guys will accidentally say we need wards when they mean well played. You got a little scroll wheel by holding Y, and if you hold Y and then pick a direction, you can say different things to your teammates. And that's probably the easiest way to talk, especially when you don't have time to text it out. If you text while playing Dota, it's hard. Really recommend headsets or microphones. I, for one, only got them this week, so hopefully my Dota improves. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to be texting and you're going to get killed while texting. And it could be something silly like texting tanks. And often that's where you see people getting killed, or lag. Lag is a big killer in games, playing international games. You get a lot of Russian people playing in one server, and then you get like a guy from America, and then the ping level's high, you know? Just too many people from different countries playing together. I'd say the latency, is that the word to use? Goes bad. But there's nothing wrong with that, you know. It's good playing with different people with different skills and different backgrounds. they approach the game differently. My style is really just support, you know. I know I'm not really supporting with Techies here, and it's a bad example to start saying I'm a supporter. I am not in this game. I'm really just a defender of towers, if you will. A defense of the ancients. Them landmines are probably one of my favorite abilities of any character because of this. I read that if Rubik steals the landmines, that the game freezes. Can anyone confirm that? If at the end of the video you guys want to write in the comments, feel free. You know, I'll be trying to improve my Dota, and it really helped with people, or even people new to the game, commenting, and we all improve together. You know, big push coming here from bottom. A lot of times playing as well, it's good to check on other lanes. I know, again, bad example, I didn't do it this time. But top lane, as you can see, there's three enemy heroes. One hiding, now there's one. 3 enemy heroes are top lane there. And we have 3 invisible heroes at top. It's good to check on your team and see where areas are going bad, you know. For example, my mine is at their dire side. And I can see their secret shop. Just in case an enemy hero goes there, they're screwed. Mid, we're kind of controlling mid to push towards their tier 2 tower. And a big fight happening up top, and I don't know why I didn't notice it. You get too focused on one thing, that's why. When you're playing Dota, you get focused on one area and forget that a guy could gank you at any moment, or what your teammates are doing. And a lot of times it's good to create the ability to mix, you know, mix what you do. You know, change from your traditional method of playing. If you are the type of guy who just farms all the time, check on your teammates now and again and see if you can provide a gank. Sometimes even doing mistakes with that can be good because you learn from them, and the next time it won't be as bad. See here, I'm just doing that Soul Ring Soul Ring Mana Boots combination. I like that new design for their towers. I'm pretty sure that's part of the update. This new Bloom update is confusing me at the moment because we have this new Winter Wyvern character to try out, and I haven't a clue about her, if she's a carry or support or whatever, but her slows look amazing, and I would love to do a video soon. Probably do Shadow Shaman and Tide Hunter next there, 2 of my top favourites along with Techies. Techies would be a good character for me to play as, considering the name Kamikaze Kid. You know, they're all about running in like kamikaze fighter jets, the whole suicide idea for high damage. You get log. If people who don't know, just, you know, seems this is happening right now. Game is paused. F9 is what controls that. You tap F9, you can pause the game. If you need to go for a P, you know, and the whole, it can be funny sometimes. You could need to have a P, and you know, F9, and that team will have to wait on you, unless of course one of the other guys on F9s it by tapping F9, which happens. But sometimes you can pause games, especially if we have 2 guys that disconnected due to lag issues or their computer went off or whatever. That happens. This is where, especially when you're fighting enemies, it's hard to get people who are willing to wait, because everybody wants to win, and the seconds that our teammates aren't available, they can take advantage of that. And if you're playing ranked, I really suggest tapping F9 and waiting. And this is unranked, so it's not too bad. Pub games are always interesting. It's where you can test new heroes. It'd be good to form a good team. If you get people you play with all the time continuously, and bounce off each other and learn new ways of playing. Also, watch a lot of competitive plays, tournament plays. Very interesting approaches, you know. People last hitting every single creep. And that's something you could learn, you know. Just improve every way you can. It's an interesting, very, very, very colourful game of chess. That is what Dota is. And it's very, very fun. Yeah, so I have like 13 mindset on the map, and you probably wouldn't even realise it from even our side. So the enemy heroes are definitely unsure about this. This is why I haven't set down that acne mine thing, or the acne sign, or whatever you want to call it, that sign for explosions. It'll just remind the enemy heroes, that Techies is in the game. And often people get so focused on one thing they forget. And that's what his kills come from, people forgetting about the threats in the game. So a good counter to him would actually be awareness. You know, let your creeps do to push the towers, because you could end up facing a bomb of Techies. Or Techies bombs. Another interesting thing is, when Techies is dead, he's still useful. Them remote missile mines that I'm setting, remote mines, can be activated there with that one, or whatever button you have it set to. By pressing on each individual mine and clicking its ability, it explodes it.
The connection went down.
Be quick with it as well, or have a stun ready in case you're dead. Have that little stun ready to have them all set up there, and it gives you time to go on and click it. That's why I suggest the stun sometimes. For when you use the mines. I just set them at these towers because, you know, you predict pushes and their cooldown before they disappear is great. And you can just clear the enemy pushes. Obviously not now. If I had an Agnum Scepter, it would really strengthen up them green mines. I'm pretty sure it just increases the power of them and how long they last on the map. But how long they last is important, and I really should have set one for vision over there on the little tower. You see where Pudge is hiding? Next to him is it's like a warding point. You can set wards or the remote mines up on top of there, and it'll provide excellent vision. Just a lot of defending going on at the moment. Yeah, so the Techies we're just pretty much setting mines and predicting pushes. As you see, the enemy saw that the mines were set there and probably decided to just move mid. Or just felt, you know, we'll keep pushing and then retreating and pushing. Which can happen, you know, to avoid confrontations, because I think they're under-leveled in comparison to most of their heroes. What I'm doing here now is secret shop located here and at the dire side. Setting mines there is always handy because heroes generally will go there to get what they need, you know, out of secret shop, and usually it could be items that are not accessible in the store, in the base, or in the side shops. And a lot of big items can be built there. So somebody is going to eventually go there. And you'd want to make sure that a few mines are set on each side. They're going to go to one or the other, and they're going to get killed on the way there. And that's going to kill their gold that they have saved and give you a bigger payday. And two, it's going to kill them. And it could even get two guys on the way there. But normally one, or even their courier, because some smart guys send couriers. And there's nothing to suggest that any of the mines I've set have been found by sentry wards, because, you know, their team could well be setting sentry wards and we wouldn't have a clue. When sentry wards are set, we can't see them being set. We don't see the blue sentry wards from our side, so we can't kill them unless we have a sentry ward to counter sentries. It gets confusing. It really does. It's a big game to learn. The autumn feel to this New Bloom festival, I like it.
You sure?
Very nice designs. Though it goes through the seasons. I mean, we had the Christmas one with Roshan and his little Christmas hat. Fun ideas like that Valve make, and really separates them from the competition. I mean, PC gaming's so fun with it. Like the likes of this game, and it's free. Why not play it, you know? Why not get good at a game? This game's good for the mind as well, you know? So you see, it took me a while, but I finally built the Scepter of Divinity. And I also learned the name of the thing. Because before playing with Techies, I didn't even know what it was called. Who was Yule, anyway? Yule. They could have given him a better name. If he's a mage or a magician or something. So I'm just setting mines, killing more camps. I think I was planning on building an Agnum Scepter now. Another idea would be to build a Force Staff. Force Staff allows you to do two things. You can escape with it. Also, it's good for mana. But you can also use it to push enemy heroes or creeps into certain directions. And what that does is, that can be used to push enemy heroes into your mines that they might, at the last minute, predict could be there and are not walking into. And that mana is really good on it, because the 10 intelligence You could even late game decide I don't need it anymore and disassemble it for eggs. You know what? I take that back. Ignore that statement. You're not going to get late game and have a 4-staff and not use it. 4-staff is one of them things that stays around all the time. It's I would recommend it as a good item for Techies. You can even see this whole build, this standard build is exactly what Techies needs. That Bloodstone is very good as well. When you get the chance, because the recent changes in Dota's programming has made Soul Ring be what you use to build Bloodstone. It used to be Perseverance Ring, but now it's Soul Ring. And what that means is, it's less gold to build a Soul Ring, so just go and build it. A Bloodstone, sorry. Basically you build the booster from the 3 energy orbs, the mana, pink one and the health one. And then you just add on the recipe and you got yourself a Bloodstone. And a Bloodstone is handy on a Techies who not only suicide squads, but who actually needs their team to kind of heal. Because you could be doing a push and you're low health and your suicide squad could be on a cooldown from previous or whatever. And you activate your Bloodstone, you're going to die, but you're going to heal all your team within that divinity. And on top of that, Bloodstone also reduces the amount of time that Techies is dead for. So say you're supposed to be dead for 60 seconds, it could be like, I don't know, it could be 20. Read up on it. But it is definitely a useful item, and it provides good health and mana regen. And mana. I think what my plan was here was, no, they have so many people dead, we really should have just pushed here.
I'm a punch!
We really should have pushed. I was basically setting more mines while they were dead in areas that I thought, when they revive, they could go here. And not for 1 second did I realise they weren't going to Roshan from the start. They weren't that type of team. But they should have. And if they did, they would have paid for it, because I got a lot of mines set there. But we really should have pushed. It's hard. Sometimes it's really hard to push with Techies. To push with Techies, you really gotta use the green remote missile mines, because setting red mines is good and all, but it'll only kill a certain amount of creeps, and even then it only damages them for your last hits. Whereas the damage done from the remote mines is amazing, and you can throw it into a big area of the creeps fighting, damage them down a bit with a few of your little auto attacks. And then when their health are like averaged each, just bomb with the little 4 button or the red button. Just like that. Just like that. But keep doing it. The cooldown is amazingly low on these bombs. That's what's amazing. The only disadvantage to Techies, I'd argue, is the Suicide Squad has such a high cooldown after using it. It'd be amazing to...
Just for you.
It would be amazing to kill Roshan, take his Aegis, and then Suicide Squad, Revive, and Suicide Squad. That's what you want with Techies. But I doubt the team would let you steal it. A lot of the time your carry gets the Aegis at the end of the day. It's realistically what happens. You see here, I have set up for... I have set up for the Aghanim Scepter. What I generally do is, if I am not in a situation where I'm about to die, and I have it set in this auto shop here where you just right click and purchase the items, I pretty much go to the secret shop or get the courier to go for me, get that energy booster, the pink orb, and then I individually, every 1,000 gold I get, I will buy the remaining items for strength, intelligence, and agility. They're very good attributes, gives you 10 for each, and I think overall you get, when you have the Aghanim Scepter, you have 10 strength, 10 agility, and 10 intelligence. It could also provide you with an extra 10. Oh no, this is 10 on each. That's excellent. It's really, really handy. Here I just thought, you know, should I set up the bombs? And I didn't. I predicted Viper and more people to be coming to surround the tower. But this is where you have to be careful where you set your mines. If you set them too close to your tower, that's what generally happens. And they've predicted that. People start predicting that. So be unpredictable with your gameplay. Why not set the mines as they're coming across the river? There's nothing saying that you can't do that. Even set one little stun. That's enough to realize that they're stunned. And then activate your remote missiles or your remote bombs. See Miranda here just walking by and we have all these mines. All them mines are just... This is like your average example of a Techies game. You'll get a few kills, a few suicides or deaths, and a lot of I should have been doing this talk, you know. I got so much stuff that could have happened in this game that could have been better. You really got to predict where the enemy team are going. And at this stage of the game, I would have realized they're going a lot mid and top. So I should have been setting the mines top and mid, but I didn't. I was so stuck and glued to this one side. But the advantage to that is we got good push for the lane due to defending it, and we destroyed their tier 3 tower. Or is it their tier 1? I gotta learn the tower order from all the way up. 1, 2, 3. I think it's tier 1 tower. Tier 3 towers start. Tier 1 towers start at the very start. So we destroyed the tier 1 tower, I think. You know, come back to me on that one too. Sometimes, you know, this is actually a good example of the average guy playing Dota, and there's a lot to learn. You can 1 minute know what you're talking about, and the next minute, some things, you know, you need a reminder. Once you're doing all the right things, don't worry about the unnecessary things. You don't have to know every single item in the game's name up by heart. You could know what it does, and you have your setup, and you just click on the shot. You know, set up this, blah blah blah. You might know it. Like for example, you might be buying a butterfly, and you don't know it's called a butterfly, but you know it's that green sword thingy. Just, you know, likes of that. Just play the game and enjoy it, and keep learning. It's a big learning curve. Little team fight going on there. If I could have predicted that team fight, I could have gotten there sooner. Because you'll see here, I tried to Suicide Squad Husker, I think, or I just initiate attacks.
You sure?
I could have set more mines there. If one more mine had been set there, I think that would have been it for one or two of them. I could have even set mines across the stairs by the dire side. That would have given great potential for kills too. So you have 12 mines now, and it's like, where are they? Where did I set my mines? And they're, if you're ever wondering with Techies, it's the little green dots on the map that are very bright. That's your mines, and you can actually see the little area of vision they provide. And occasionally, if you see little X next to them, it's the enemies. I really should have set mines on the stairs. I'm so upset that I did. Should have mined the stairs. I'm not going on to singing voice now. Yeah, we have a match to win. We have to win this match. It's so hard in this game.
Fortunes change.
I had a good team in fairness. You sometimes get guys who almost seem like they're set on losing. They just want to lose the match for you, and we can't be having that. We just gotta win this match. You can be on a win streak sometimes, and that motivates you better. You just gotta put the pedal to the metal, hit down the middle lane, get all them towers out of the way. Tier 3, 1, 2. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And in this case, you don't want to get too comfortable. If you get comfortable, they could be off farming and getting their ultimate weapons, and they'll smash you. And we can't have that. It's 35 minutes into the game, and you know you want to see good items on your team. On Techies, I should have had my eggs by now. I should have had 4 staff. Late game almost. Games could go on up to an hour. I mean, 35 minutes. How long will this one go on for? You know? Techies throwing down some remote mines. I still think their best arsenal is them red mines. Another interesting thing is you could set like 3 over each other and they'll think it's 1, and even if they had vision they could like get killed.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Viper should have been 4 staff there. If I had it, I could have helped. We could have had another kill, and we'd be well on our way to a push. With 4 heroes on their side and us having full health at 5, it's an advantage to push now in a sense. But they look defensive because we can't see them on the map, so they're most likely not on our side of the map. But the thing is, any of that shaded area, one of their heroes could be farming for all we know in the jungle down on the Radiant side. That's a common noob idea that they're all hiding in their base.
I think so.
Ironically, they all were. So, see, sometimes being unpredictable is the way to go. That Juggernaut spin makes him immune, and I get to kill him. That Juggernaut spin makes him immune for a bit of all magical damage, but it doesn't help him out against physical. And them mines he landed on was physical damage.
Shadows take.
So it's excellent to have him chase you with that, because that's what happens. Troll him with Techies is fun. You can't not play Techies and not expect comedy. A good reason to play them is mind games. Literally mind games.
Let's go.
M-I-N-E. I believe there was a different video or a guy I seen. He played Techies and he had an eye of Scotty going to be set up. I think it was actually competitive. He had Orb of Venom, and all that does is provide a poison damage on top of their normal attack power. But their attack power is so low, why even do that? If anything, an ulti to have on Techies would be an ulti. A really, really expensive item to have on Techies would be like Shiva's Guard or something like that, you know, high armor, pushing towers, defending. Shiva's Guard is brilliant. It provides excellent intelligence and a good slow for Techies. But I would love to see somebody put up a video of Techies with an IS Scotty, because I know a guy who did it with Venomancer and the results were just amazing. In no way is Venomancer a carry, but if he got snowball like that, Techies could do the same, you know? I mean, all attack power can be increased.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
It would have been great as well to have Shadow Shaman in lane with me for a bit. I know solo farming with Techies is really the way to go for getting him up in terms of leveling. But it would have been great to see some shackles coming from Shadow Shaman, more hexes like that, and I'd throw my bombs on top of them and get a few kills. Not to steal anything from Shadow Shaman. He is a really hard support hero and gets his fair amount of kills too. And a good thing you can do with Shadow Shaman is the shackles after you've set your mass serpent wards and aim the serpents on your opponent. And then it'll push the lane for the rest of the way. So we're pushing here now, we're getting gold. 200 gold per tower destroyed isn't too bad. So if you think about it, that's 2, 4, 6, 600 per lane and 1800 overall for the 3 lanes. And if you really want to put the pressure on your opponent and you feel like, you know, just to be safe, push all 3 barracks down. And if you get all 3 barracks down, you get mega creeps and you're snowballing from there. The game is pretty won when you have them. It's really hard to come back from it. I think it was pointless putting that stun there knowing they were coming. I should save myself some mana, turn down 1 green mine. You notice how expensive it is in mana for most things. Like the cheapest being the stuns, but they're never used. And what I like about that button, that number 4 button there, the red button, is some people get confused with Techies and think that button means it destroys all mines on the map. It doesn't. It destroys the ones that blue circle that comes up when you press it. Anything that blue circle is over. Let me say it again. Anything that blue circle when you click 4 like that will destroy bombs. So you click that and there's a big blue circle and boom. And in that area that you click, left click, will be destroyed. Once it's your mines. You can't just destroy like enemy heroes and stuff by just clicking on them with blue. You got it. It'll detonate the mines that you decide. I could just detonate all of them right now, but it's pointless, you know. You'd really only want to really use it for your remote mines. Here, I just think I was just testing the waters with Techies. Look how much 6 to 7 bombs does the Techies or mines. Or does the Techies. Look how much 6 to 7 mines does to Roshan. You guys, you have to forgive me for this one. I'm really tired. It's like 12 o'clock at night in Ireland, and I'm just half asleep recording this. I'll get better, I promise. Everyone gets better with time. I'll improve my Dota and my channeling. So I don't know why. I forgot how much regen that. Look how fast the regen is on Roshan. This is what you want to Roshan with your teammates, which is a perfect example here of the 3 heroes I said go well together in a lane. A tri-lane with these 3 heroes would be phenomenal. So here we go, going to get the Aegis, and I think Miranda takes it, and it would make sense for Miranda to take it above all. There we go. And Shadow Shaman gets his well-deserved bounty. Techies level 15, pushing. I still haven't bought anything yet. I guess I was trying to decide, do I need 4 staff or will I buy something else? I think I wanted to go for the Sight of Ice, but then I said to myself, you get great armor from, which wasn't suggested, great armor from Shiva's Guard, and it's cheaper. I'm not the type of guy who is ready to hex with items. I'm ready to hex with my abilities. Like, I'm used to playing Shadow Shaman, and you think I'd be able to hex with Techies? I wouldn't even think of it. I'd quicker use a Dagon with Techies by holding the spacebar. I have my keys set up differently from a traditional Dota user, just to suit the way I play. You know, it's okay if you play in a certain way, go do it. Once it works, why not use it? You know, don't fix something that is broken. And Techies is far from broken, other than OP bombs. Just continue to farm. Farming is essential to Techies. You only get like 28 gold per kill. Well, you could do the maths there and say to yourself, I need 5 dead neutral creeps for 100 gold. Times, oh, that's as big in this game. Look, I got 67 from that guy. Looking back at it, you wouldn't even think of checking how much gold you get from some guys or noting it down. But that could make a big difference, just for you realizing how quick you should take them down and how many of them you need and how much gold you need. You know, mathematics with this, you know. I was never great at maths, so I'm just enjoying the colours with Techies. Colourful game, chess. That's what this is all about. Techies looks like some kind of a Team Fortress 2 character with his little helmets and his bazooka. And you know, that's okay. You can't copyright it because it's all Valve, isn't it? At the end of the day. So it's all safe. I think I started realizing that remote mines are brilliant for farming. Look at that. One remote mine does that. And there I am setting the landmines like a fool. So I decided to buy Mystic Staff. I always try to buy the secret shop items first because the priority. You buy secret shop items and that's the expensive part out of the way and the annoying part. It's hard to buy them, especially when your opponents are rushing towards your tower, because it's really hard to send the courier out. You can get killed on the way, depending on how far pushed they are. So if you find time, you get the secret shop items out of the way when possible. As you can see, the cooldown on the remote mines mid are actually really low now, so I just get rid of them and set new ones. There's so many great areas you could set mines with Techies. You know, I wouldn't talk enough in this video about Techies, considering it's my first video and preparation, etc. But you know, there's some brilliant places you could just set mines. I know I discussed a few, but you know, you could nearly set them very close to where the enemy's base is, and just as they're exiting, they eat mines. As tricky as it is, like not straight in the middle where the creep wave goes, but slightly to the side.
What?
I just love Shackles and that combo with Morana for Shadow Shaman, and he gets a nice that kill there. Was it Ether Shock, I think? And a few kills here. Husker just eats some mines. Some Morana.
The prize is mine.
So that 1400 gold for that 10 armor, you know, I think it's worth it. 10 armor, that's like 21 armor then for Techies. That's like double armor. You can take double physical damage, or, you know, more physical damage. Oh, it's double. I just suggest to push now because all they have alive is Juggernaut, and he's not exactly capable of taking down the team we have with just 5 of us. So the push is more or less directed south, like, you know, to the Radiant side, to the bottom lane. I noticed that this wave of creeps, the enemy creeps, were getting very, very close to our bottom tower, and I said, you know, let's just make that push go. See, you want to control all 3 lanes, and it'd be ideal to take the lane that the enemies are coming nearest to your towers. And that's why I said, you know, get this out of the way and push down their last remaining tower. Because they got 3 towers, or they got 4 towers remaining in their base totally, and there's one up the city. There's one up at the end of this lane, and it'll look nice exploded. The plan being to set a few red mines under it, because red mines can do damage to towers. So it's a good bit of damage to towers. Try to get them in early game as well. When enemies don't really predict. That is trap set, but that's a magical trap, I think. It's a stun, so it doesn't affect Juggernaut there. BKB on Viper, but not working too well from them. Husker's power has been shackled out, and then I set a mine, boom. Good night, Mostius. The Mystic Flare missed from what's his name, Scarman. They're playing very well here. Obviously, if we play against a top-notch team, probably would have sayonara, good night. But in this case, it's working pretty well. I'll just be honest with you, you know. There's no point in saying, "Oh, look at this gameplay," and blah 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 blah. So much improvements to be made, but the more you discuss it with people and the more you practice, the better you get. You know, even going to bot matches a few times, because, you know, sometimes the servers are down as well, and it'd be good to learn new heroes offline first. In fact, I probably should have done that with Techies. You take risks doing it online. People don't like people who aren't prepared. But better in a pub match than a ranked match, always. I never knew that the stun worked on the siege creeps, that throw the catapults. That's interesting because certain magical damages don't work against them, and I'm pretty sure you can't hex them as Shadow Shaman. So that's good news to me. Also, be careful to mines close to towers, enemy towers, particularly the remote mines, the green ones, because when they're first set, they're visible to both enemies and towers. Worst case scenario, has enough time to destroy it before you know, it goes invisible. And I'd say the biggest counter to Techies, which I forgot to discuss earlier, is ranged heroes, because ranged heroes can destroy all these mines when they're visible from afar. Like Sniper, for example, would be really good at destroying them mines. If you have fight a sniper against a sniper who has a gem of true sight, he will see all the mines and he will just blast them with his little gun. You gotta hate some heroes like Riki, fucking the other guys. Now, there's some heroes just can get people's nerves a lot online, and in pub matches you see a lot of the same people being played. It happens, you know. So moving on here to the next bit. Oh yeah, about that. Another few things about Techies. Countering Techies. Yeah, so you have the Gem of True Sight as one, and ranged heroes. But support heroes generally counter Techies pretty well without needing ranged vision. Some heroes are just bulky enough to go into them mines and eat them mines, and they can be very, they can predict where you set them. This is why you have to set them directly over each other and then not to realize that there's 8 mines set on top of each other. But enemies will use sentry wards and support heroes to generally dish out mines, and that micromanaging and intelligence. Or here, yeah, again, heroes who have that illusion ability, like Naga Siren, form into a few and send the illusions in, and they'll be destroyed, but the hero itself won't. And something I really got to try as well is not just setting them in clusters together, which is probably actually the right thing to do, but more so setting them apart in different areas, ones on ones. So, for example, I set a big cluster here. I could have just set them in different areas throughout the river, and the enemy could think that that's the worst case scenario. Boom, you hit one, that's it, and he keeps going and dies. Maybe set 2 over each other and 1 somewhere else. Being unpredictable, the idea being unpredictable. So I use the regen here just to get full mana again. Very important, full mana.
Let's go.
And I have Soul Ring. I probably shouldn't have done that because I had full mana. Oh no, Soul Ring can be used when you have full mana, because Soul Ring can be used when you have full mana. It adds another 150, 200, whatever mana, 150 mana to your mana pool,
The enemy's top tower has
and
fallen.
then
The enemy's
it'll
middle
decrease
tower
back down
has
to
fallen.
your max mana. So, pretty amazing. And then obviously your mana boots on top of that to regen it fully again. Also, there was a change made, I think, to Techies. I'm pretty sure the composite damage has changed to physical damage now for the normal red mines. It used to be composite damage. I'm not sure what composite damage was. I don't care anymore because it's physical damage now, and that's actually pretty handy, I think.
Dire's
It's better to judge it that way. I don't know if it makes it more fair, because I'm pretty sure composite damage is... I don't know if it's pure damage. Again, whatever I say in this video, I'd really appreciate people to just comment on it, each areas I've discussed or whatever, and give your own insight into it, your own approach that you might use to Techies. Maybe you have a video you want to share, feel free to share on my page. I do not mind at all. It's always good because this is how we all improve together. Being able to set up the best approaches makes for harder competition, and we all improve. And I mean, not everybody is going to know, only us who watch the video. I mean, I've seen people online play Techies with divine rapiers and all, and it's just like, yeah, fair enough. You can troll when you get a good snowball, but if you're fighting someone that's really difficult, is it better to fight people that are difficult and learn from that, or fighting nobodies? I mean, here we're fighting, I wouldn't call them the best team. Or maybe they just had a bad day. Maybe they're a good team on other days. I wouldn't judge everybody who plays Dota. Like, if we're winning, there's either one, something going wrong, or two, we're amazing. All that gold. See, you can farm so well by just destroying all them creeps in a lane like that. What's important as well is, like from earlier on I said, soloing. Soloing is really important, because if you don't solo in a lane, you're going to get half the experience, and that's difficult. And sharing gold can be difficult too. So try to get your own gold. Farming as a jungler is not too bad. He's not the best jungler. There's better junglers, but he will do. He will do his job very well. Techies does his job very well, jungler. More so a roamer. I mean, I could have explored the 2 lanes I haven't previously, and that's where you noticed the enemies were top bound a lot and mid. List of appearance here just to make sure that Viper has a shadow blade, so it's just, is he nearby? He didn't seem to be nearby, but good prediction there. Or was he? There's a few heroes down here. There's a big fight going on down here. Oh, there's Viper. So I used that ice, and it doesn't work too well, so I just, suicide out of there. Don't let them get the kill. but also a disadvantage because 2 of our heroes died from that push. So see, this is where Dota becomes kind of back and forth. You could be winning, and then something like that could just push you back. And indeed, all my deaths were suicides. So, I'm doing the best job I can with Techies from what I have and my abilities. Only to improve with time, and you know, if I rewatch this video I've made, this could be a good guideline for me. And I know I've watched other videos. Purge's videos, for example. Very good video. A shout out to Purge and the boys. I have 4,000 plus gold and I haven't bought anything yet. Trolling there with the Iascadi idea. Again, because I knew this idea of the Iascadi before I went into this game, having previously watched the competitive play of Dota. And it was just an idea I had. I just said Iascadi or Bloodstone. But Bloodstone all the time. Bloodstone's really important late game. Like, you want to have the minimum amount of time dead as possible, especially if you get killed. I mean, you're not going to always... That suicide has another 60... a full minute before it survives.
Yes.
So it's important. It's important to really get it, you know. So I get the soul boost in there, so I decide to go for the traditional Bloodstone. And with the soul, without even having the full Bloodstone, Techies has over 2,000 health. That's impressive considering I think it's like 1,000 something before.
Excuse me.
Or was it? At level 20, it wanted to have a lot of health. Especially fighting the likes of Husker and Viper. Like, they're the real threats to the team, I think. Juggernaut as well. What I noticed is they have a lot of carries and a lot of tanky power heroes. Like, Tusk is very, very tanky. So is Husker. And that high attack from Viper and Juggernaut is scary. Their one support hero, Skyrat Mage, is very much of a nuker support. So they had very little stuns in this game, I found. I think that's what their disadvantage was from the outset. And Shadow Shaman actually was our full advantage for this game. And it's an excellent push play, I think. So you see, just getting all them 43 golds, it's like a couple of hundred gold. Look at me getting ready to build the Iascadi. I'm just trolling here, but I'm not even actually going to build an Iascadi. Sometimes you just test things in pub matches or offline or whatever. Just try and real-time effects, you know. And some people try competitively. Like I said, someone used an Orb of Venom on Techies in a tournament game. There's the victory, guys. So please do subscribe to the channel. It was a pleasure bringing you this commentary. First commentary. Going to do more soon. Until next time, I am Kamikaze Kid, and wishing you all the best.